Welcome back already. Time now for our last game of today for the Fallout Dota 2 Major All-Stars. It's HellRaisers versus ASUS.Polar here in the Europe qualifiers. Winner through the winner bracket final. Loser still in the tournament, still in the chance to go to Malaysia, but a bit of a harder road.
This is it, GoDz. Game 3. It's kind of all on the line, at least if you want to make it into the winner bracket finals. HR versus ASUS.Polar. Game 1, total domination. Game 2, mid-game domination going the other way. We'll see what HR have up their sleeve. I don't know. I thought they were doomed, giving out the Wisp, but they're making a dent in that FNG Wisp win rate this patch. Now he is 8-2 from 8-1.
One of those things, I guess they felt they had to mix it up after losing game 1, so they're like, okay, let's give him a Wisp and let's feel confident we can beat it. But not going to be the case here in game number 3. It is maybe something where they dictate these bans based on first pick and side, giving it to ASUS.Polar when they have first pick but not second pick. I guess you can get that Wisp +1 with the second pick, but I mean, if they wanted something like the Tiny, they could have taken it. Just not really the Wisp Tiny, not really an ASUS.Polar thing. They've done it once or twice. I know Illidan has played a game of Tiny I can recall, but it's not their go-to.
They did it once at Star Ladder, I think.
Yeah, yeah. This, though, is an Illidan go-to. They get the Slark.
Slark Avenge. This is a go-to ASUS.Polar opening, especially if they have second pick. Your FNG Classic, your Illidan Classic, very much in their comfort zone. And also great against the Bat Rider. Hey, you've got another swap against that Lasso. So kind of a twofold victory there for ASUS.Polar, at least from their perspective. Now, HR obviously prioritizing the Bat Rider quite a bit. We saw him first ban in one of the games earlier in this series. Kind of scratched our heads a little bit, and, well, now we see that they really think he is first-pick material. So they'll scoop him up, and they get themselves the Dazzle to try and deal with this Slark a little more effectively.
All right, so the Dazzle, a pretty good pick to have against the Slark, and just a defensive. I think it just suits HellRaisers' playstyle in general. So a nice hero for them that suits their playstyle, suits their aggression, their ability that they really like to have in the mid game to take those fights, like we saw last game, and that's something which Dazzle really complements. Now, next stage of bans, Ancient Apparition as well as Lil's Visage get taken out of the pool, and on the ASUS.Polar side, Anti-Mage and Lycan taken out. We've seen a few bans on Anti-Mage this series from ASUS.Polar. Last game, they also banned down the second stage, something HellRaisers will often run and not do your conventional Anti-Mage. They'll do stuff like go for a Crimson Guard, focus much more around leveling up Mana Break and using him for the Mana Void damage output as a fighter, rather than using him as that split-pushing, let's rush a Battle Fury and just try to accelerate your farm like a Night Siren does. So they play a very different style of Anti-Mage, which has been proven pretty effective.
10 seconds remaining.
Yes, sir. Brewmaster, third pick for ASUS.Polar, and that's not too surprising. We've seen Phobos play a lot of Brewmaster in his day, so 3 comfort picks for ASUS.Polar coming out here. And HellRaisers thinking about how to react. They've got the beginnings of a pretty potent draft. Axe has been banned out. What else do they like to pair with their Dazzle Bat Rider? They could grab something like a Skywrath Mage, get some nice big damage with their next support, rain down the magic for whoever is that lasso target. A lot of options here.
Yeah, they don't really. Yeah, they need some follow-up damage in some way. Whether they go back for something like the Zeus for the mid lane for Alpha Ninja, he has played a lot of it. Although it was Goriet's back in game 1, playing it in the off lane. So maybe something they've tried to put on Alpha Ninja, but they do need some follow-up damage in some form here. It's for now a Shadow Demon. I love this hero with Dazzle. Some great synergy with the disruption into Shadow Wave, Heal Bomb, and just in general, such a good defensive support duo. If Dazzle gets initiated on, you've got the disruption to help keep him alive. For Dazzle, you can grave your teammates, so you've got 2 separate tools from both your supports to protect your cores, and it's not like you can say, okay, we've got to take out this one support. You've got to take out both, and they can also protect one another. So there's just this nice little defensive kind of duo that HellRaisers are going to put together here.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, definitely so.
5 seconds remaining.
They still lack damage right now.
Yeah, everything you said is true, but I look at this draft and say, well, this is still not that scary.
Yeah, it's
now. Yeah, something. They need something that packs a punch. Something that if you have Soul Catcher on you, you're scared.
They've built the skeleton. They've got a framework going, but they need some. They need some flesh, some meat to this right now, and there's no muscle yet for HellRaisers. Yeah. I don't know what that's going to come from. Maybe they go for some kind of a big carry. Artez's hero kind of yet to be seen. Medusa's still in the pool, and HellRaisers will pull out a Medusa every now and then, and it's not the flashiest or the most high damage output of carries, but something that is quite possible for them to go for.
So far, they don't really have too much to deal with the Slark. Sure, you've got the Flaming Lasso. That's nice, but You'll still have a Brewmaster beaten on your team, and even so, there just isn't a lot of burst damage yet to kill the Slark in the time of the lasso. You know, if that was a Lion pick instead of a Shadow Demon, I'd at least go, okay, well, now you've got a good tool to deal with the Slark. Maybe turn him into a fish before you hit him with the laser and light him on fire with that Firefly. A couple of options there. Very defensive, which can be good for a reset against Slark, but you need something to really try and blow him up. And, whoa, speaking of blowing people up, it's Lina possibly in a core position here. I think more likely to be a support, but
yeah, more likely, but never know. They've got the Brewmaster, which every now and then it used to be kind of more the mag hero, but lately it's been all about DK Phobos on the Brew. But
yeah, like it could be mag off lane and then Phobos takes Lina mid. I think that's certainly an option. Maybe intentionally ambiguous here from ASUS.Polar.
10 seconds.
Feels like a pretty decent Lina game though. The big problem with Lina is that, as a core at least, in mid, is she has Shadow Fiend Syndrome, where sort of known as a glass cannon, if left unchecked, gets scary and very easy to gank, especially in those early levels. And these two supports, yeah, Shadow, Demon, Dazzle, can do some ganking, but not the scariest ganking duo. You know, no Skywrath, no Lion, no heroes quite like that. Here's the fourth pick from HellRaisers, though. It's the Jug.
Of course. Worked in Game 2, you go for it in Game 3 as well, and
10 seconds
seems like a solid choice in general, and it's one of those...
But
I was looking at other options, like, what do you want with the Shadow Demon Dazzle? I was like, Luna's good. We saw that back in Game 1 with the synergy with the Dazzle, and even with the Shadow Demon, Luna works great, but it's like, why take away from something that was working so well back in the previous game with with Artez's Juggernaut?
Well, the key difference in the last game is you knew that ASUS.Polar were going to have to get over that hump of the Radiance. And not just getting the Radiance, but that extended window where you're still farming up those farming tools like your Yasha BOT. So you have like 25 minutes before the Naga is actually scary. And with that timing in mind, they kind of flipped the switch around the 20-minute mark or so when she was still sort of coming online. Maybe even a few minutes before that, right, when the Radiance was completed. Here, they have to tango with Illidan's Slark. And he'll be quiet. Then all of a sudden he'll get a Shadow Blade, and then he's going to erupt with a frenzy of shadowy backstabs.
10 seconds
and
remaining.
that'll be about the same time the Juggernaut wants to erupt and start jumping around. So I think this time ASUS.Polar will be a little more well-suited to deal with his combative nature around that window. Now, especially with the big beefy Night Stalker.
Oh, that's gonna be Mag's here, I think, for the offlane. And something they may be considering with this Lina Venge is something like a kind of offensive tri-lane, or at least the two supports roaming around a lot, because Night Stalker got a good setup. He's nice and tanky. He can just go running in to kind of set things up. So,
and sets up easy stuns for the Venge to close the gap, or for Lina just to use the Light Strike Array after a Void.
So a lot of potential for just early game aggression from the two supports. And the Night Stalker, last pick going to be a Tinker. That's kind of the spicy pick. I was wondering what was going to put this lineup together and cause ASUS.Polar some problems, and Tinker is going to be coming out here. This is where, if you're ASUS.Polar, you're thinking, right off the bat, maybe we're going to have to give a bit more farm priority towards Mag to help him get an Ag Scepter to be used as a way of dealing and scouting out the Tinker, but here they were maybe not ready for to come out. HellRaisers used this pick recently against Team Secret to great effect in Dota Pit, I believe it was. There was some nice highlight clips from his Tinker there, and something very potent.
He is a very talented Tinker player. Tinker's still pretty good. Of course, was changed quite a bit when they moved the damage types around, the March of the Machine change. That's the nature of how he farms, but still a very, very strong hero. He can still rush Dagon, do all sorts of sneaky plays with a Blink Dagger and E-Blade, and still that hard carry towards the late game as he scales very well with farm. BKB kind of counters him, but with Tinker, there's just so much damage and so much sustainability that even a BKB is not all you need to stay safe.
So, HellRaisers once again doing this roam into the enemy jungle. Hopefully this time it doesn't backfire as it did last game. But it looks like things will be kept pretty safe for them for the time being. And just a few wards dropped down. Well, the one Dire Observer ward planted down to help protect the offlane. And that's just going to be to allow GoDz to be a bit more aggressive. Try and keep track of where these supports are. But the support's up near the top rune.
Yeah, it looks like GoDz, like you said, in the offlane. Curious how these lanes will settle down. Are ASUS.Polar working a rotation of their own? Mag started down bottom. Now he's headed up top. At the top, Rune. Artez stunned up by Lil. Venge sets it up with the magic missile. They will secure the bounty rune there. And Tinker gets the bounty rune down bottom. So they will do an old switcheroo. Mag heads to the top lane. FNG will rendezvous with him in the mid. That leaves Phobos on the Brew. And it looks like just a 2-1-2 as Lil rotates bottom to join Illidan on his prized Slark.
I was curious to see how long these dual lanes last, but yeah, with a tri-lane looking to shape itself down bottom, Dread as well as Gotham Going to be able to put a lot of pressure here on ASUS.Polar, try and shut down the Slack's farm, but for now looking to maybe be a bit of a surprise factor down bottom, but they get scouted out early. Lil already zoning Dread out, so the positioning advantage very much in ASUS.Polar's advantage. Even though they've got a dual lane versus a tri-lane, they are kind of able to pressure HellRaisers in multiple lanes.
Yeah. So far, at least. Yeah, Dread. Yeah, you're right. Like you said, he's going to rotate his way down bottom also. So anyway, checking in on the mid, how does this matchup fare? Phobos versus Ninja. He will put that first point in the Drunken Haze. So recognizing that Tinker with a pretty limited mana pool early on does rely on auto attacks a lot to last hit, and it's helping out Phobos a bit. It's an even spread in the mid, theory of kind of mutual destruction as they both pick on each other. Meanwhile, on the top, Artez getting dangerously low. Will Blade Fury back to safety, but not finding that free farm like he was in the last game.
Yeah, so both teams putting priority on shutting down the enemy carry. Illidan, I think, for the most part, may have a slightly better time as far as not taking too much damage here. Dread and Goddamn not really up in the heat just yet, but it's been a rotation. Bat's going to take over the top lane, which means Artez probably going to see him TP down bottom, but he's got to head back to base first. This is really costly for his economy. 0 CS. Buys a TP, already used his salve for the damage he took to try and get that top bounty rune. This has been a disaster of a start for Artez.
Yeah, and you compare that to Illidan, who at least has 3 last hits under his belt. And I guess the difference is able to sit in lane and find some XP. Only about half a level up on his counterpart there.
Just like the couple hundred gold wasted. The TP scroll plus the salve is just money down the drain right now. I guess Illidan has used some tangos, but it hasn't quite been as crippling as what's happened to the Juggernaut.
Yeah. So Lil will hang around, starting to stack up the easy camp here, and will be able to pull. It will be an aggro try coming out from HR, and for now at least, ASUS.Polar will stay true to their dual lanes. Wrap around in the top as FNG comes in, throws out the screen, thinking about a magic missile, just can't quite close the gap. Oh, Ben's just a little too slow. Possibly could have had a go there, but still daytime. Mag, I think, happy to be quiet until that first night strikes, and they can get a little more aggressive.
Yeah, I think just more importantly, just trying to zone him out with the Wave of Terror and the right clicks here. The magic missile, very precious mana that you can't just be throwing out if you're not going to get good follow-up damage. So, bottom lane, disruption, TP coming in, and it looks like Lil taking quite a few Shadow Poisons, triple stacked here, but FNG showing up as well, gets the 4th, he gets him down to 12 HP, very close. The first blood goes the other way. Slug picks up the kill on the Shadow Demon. Went very greedy there. Dread thought he had a kill there, thought he was making a big play. He almost was. Had 4 stacks of Shadow Poison, but it just wasn't quite enough damage.
Yeah, very crafty TP from FNG. Moving into this tree line here where they're all fogged in. HR didn't see it coming, and the Shadow Demon just lingering around way too long. And Artez forced back once more. Still only 3 last hits on him. Both of these carries getting very little out of this lane. It's more a battle of which supports can do more damage to the others. Dazzle now hasted, moving forward, harassing back Illidan. And now even throwing auto attacks towards Lil. Getting dangerously close to the tower, but again, knowing his limits very well. And we'll just have to move back into the lane. Now just to interrupt FNG's time. Pull through camp. Yeah, looks like that's not going to happen.
Yep.
Okay, he'll get a range creep.
I guess it's just the one range creep. No, Goddamn will pull it off. So, Trialan versus Trialan at bottom, and HellRaisers slightly struggling to start things off here. Lil already level 2.5 and Lena, the Venge level 3, so there's a good damage upward potential. Venge even picking up a point in the Vengeance Aura, which normally you wouldn't see at this point, but I think it's just because he's in lane, doesn't actually have mana to use a magic missile. Could put a second point in Wave of Terror, but he wants something that's going to help them out in this 3v3 right now, and that's that kind of 1 point in Vengeance Aura. Kind of that pseudo, like, Lunar Blessing or something for the team.
Lil thinking about a wraparound here. Disruption onto Illidan. The heal bomb straight away. He'll be forced to leap defensively, but Mag, he's joined the party. They'll go on to Dread. Out comes the Shallow Grave. That buys him a little bit of time, but Mag, it's nighttime. He's speedy. They'll find the kill. Now they turn on to Artez. They'll slow him down. They'll hit him with a Light Strike Array. Connects on both heroes. The Dragon Slave flies through. Is the heal bomb enough? It seems it is. Mag doesn't want to dive the tower too deep. Another auto attack. He won't go down, but gets low. If only Illidan could have been a part of that fight. He took too much damage to start it off and had to play defensively rather than aggro. They get a kill out of it, but could have gotten more.
Yeah, if they got that second kill, it would have been well worth it. In the end, the damage they take on Mag as well as Illidan is going to force them back to base, potentially. I guess Illidan's trying to just stay around, get his level 6 so he can use that Shadow Dance to regen himself back up, but doesn't really feel worth the one support, TPing down your Night Stalker and Illidan taking so much damage, although he is still able to at least stay in XP range and try to get closer and closer to that level 6. Just 1 or 2 creep waves off of that, so maybe Illidan will actually be okay in this off lane. Oh, sorry, in the safe lane.
Well, checking in on the mid lane, still a bit of a slugfest, but DK Phobos is pulling ahead. The Drunken Haze, very difficult for that Tinker to deal with. 16-8 compared to the 22-7 Brewmaster. Well, already found his level 6. Primal Split, of course, now available with an empty bottle. Round boots will be a normally timed Blink Dagger at this rate. Nothing too crazy about it. We'll probably see both heroes just stay steady in the mid. It's one of those mid matchups where you don't really want to leave and give the other too much space to farm. We'll see FNJ move into the jungle and stack up this hard camp at least.
Yeah, he wants to try and secure his decent time when Boots of Travel, so he has to spend a bit of time out of lane. He'll even use the Martin Machines, trying to get off this double stack, but won't actually succeed in stacking the medium camp as well, so...
Yeah, only the hard camp.
Slight loss of efficiency there. As, he won't finish off this camp for the time being. Just gets a couple of the small creeps. And Mag going to catch him out, and not exactly an easy solo kill, but he has got phase boots on the Night Stalker. 1 point in the laser. Mag not going to be able to chase this, but at least figured out what's going on with the Tinker, puts a bit of pressure on him, and...
Yeah.
Just kind of keeping tabs of where he is. So.
And this is still time Tinker's out of the lane. It was already missed efficiency by not getting that medium camp. And now bottom will hold that thought. Illidan initiated on by Artez. The tower's helping him out. Can Artez actually win this fight? No, it looks like Illidan. He'll use the ulti. Defensive disruption comes in. That saves Artez for now. He's very low. Will need to TP out. Illidan juking around like crazy. Dread goes down as the magic missile flies through. Now got him. Grave TP. Do they have any way to interrupt it? Lena's there. They do. And got him. Will fall. ASUS.Polar. 4-0 as they pull further ahead. Nicely played by Illidan as he narrowly escapes death.
Just out-executing and out-maneuvering the HellRaisers team right now. I feel like HellRaisers, the Shadow Demon Dazzle, is not that this combo is failing. They're just getting too aggressive when they can't be too aggressive. They're not getting the kills when they can. And Illidan he's just a Slack expert. He knows the limits of this hero. He knows he's versus every possible support duo out there with the amount of times he's played this hero. And well, he just kind of baits him in and sets things up. He doesn't kill the Jug in the end there, which would have been a huge pickup for him, but the other 2 kills easily make up for that. And he's now got treads. He's just going for these early game fighting options. Can't really afford to go for anything too greedy when there's constantly 3 heroes in his lane, although I feel like that's going to change soon with how much this offensive trialing hasn't worked out for the HellRaiser squad.
Okay. Well, how do HR adjust? Dazzle the offlaner now. Dread looks like he'll move his way down, but the Bat Rider has moved into the jungle to try to get his Blink Dagger farm going, and now Artez moves back to the safe lane where he's not having a fun time against this Night Stalker. It's still nighttime, son. Maybe not for much longer, but as soon as Artez goes back to lane, he's got to go back to the well, gods. He's got no regen, no point in this healing ward. He doesn't have a choice.
This Jug is in struggle city right now. This is going so poorly for him. And the big worry for HellRaisers as well is that, like, Affinage on his Tinker can't get the super fast boots of travel because the Bat is taking the jungle.
Oh, Venge even finds the Juggernaut. Chases him down. The greed from Artez.
Oh, now they may dive on Dread here at top lane. The TP coming in from the Bat will, I guess, deter any further chases, but no potential for a lasso or a kill. Not at nighttime. And
yeah.
Well, they look at the bottom. Looks like he took a lot of damage here, but he's flirting with death right now. Dazzle looking for the heal bomb. Okay,
that was
goddamn.
close. That was really close. Now back to the mid. FNG bumps into FNJ. He doesn't have his BOTs up yet.
And
To start bottling before Mag gets to him, and it looks like, yeah, he'll get back to safety, got enough bottle regen off that. Mag was not going to go diving for that, but they kind of have a good idea what's going on.
He's got a little bit of time left on Darkness. Now he finds GoDz. They'll go in, do a little bit of harassment damage, but
didn't block the pull. At this point, I feel ASUS.Polar just block the big camp pull because that's where HellRaisers need the Bat Blink as well as the Tinker Boots of Travel, and that big camp pull is going to be huge for them. Obviously, they have to get in there with a ward, and it'll get dewarded, and HellRaisers will take the fight to them, but these stacks in this jungle is HellRaisers' like most precious commodity right now.
Yeah, Bat Rider will clear it out. The double stack in the easy camp, and then this hard camp here, the whole family of Centaurs. He's getting close to his Blink. That is one good thing for HR, is sharing is caring. They will be able to kind of hand over the torch of who's in charge of the jungle. Bat Rider just 150 gold away from his prized jewel. Back in the bottom lane, how's Lena doing? She's level 4, so still no Laguna Blade, but working that jungle. Illidan, level 8 now, and probably a Hand of Midas coming with that set of gloves there. Already has his power tread, so usually a sign that he's going to go for that farming tool, even though it'll be delayed. Still feeling it's a worthy investment here. Phobos gets off the split, now goes on to the Bat Rider. Hits him with a boulder, but Bat should be okay. Now Cyclone. Oh, never mind. FNG's here with a missile. Can't get it off fast enough. Okay.
A bit hard. He's like already on the cliff somewhat, so.
Yeah, he's got a cast point.
Nope.
Still, they secure the rune, though, so I guess that's something. They don't get a kill out of the split, but
yeah, back going to try finish off this medium camp. That'll be his blink money. And then from there, he's got to find kills immediately. Slark kind of hard to go on. Maybe he goes for someone like Phobos in the mid lane. Like bringing along the Dazzle and have someone like the Tinker for some extra burst damage as well. But even that is not an easy kill. Phobos sitting on 1k plus HP with heavy 1 charges. So
down bottom. Illidan getting very aggressive onto Artez. They'll just switch focus onto Gotham. They force out the Grave, and now Gotham left out to dry. Nice setup from ASUS.Polar. It seems like Illidan had that plan in his head when they started. Very aggressive on the Jug and just trying to bait the Dazzle into giving away his get-out-of-jail-free card.
Artez, by the way, the lowest hero level of this game. He has been shut down immensely. From the word go, HellRaisers just kind of laying things in a way that ASUS.Polar had the advantage on. They had to TP him home. Contesting the rune really backfired for him. Everything has just gone wrong that could go wrong. And I mean, HellRaisers is a good team, but this game just luck and just situation has gone very much against them.
Yeah, I think that about sums it up. Jug just ping-ponging back and forth across the lanes. That's costly in its own right, and still not really finding a home where he's able to farm. Fast swap up top onto the Shadow Demon. Defensive disruption buys him a few seconds, but that's about all. FNG just tanking Artez right now. He can... That was FNG just posturing right there. In comes GoDz, though. Connects with a lasso onto Mag. They'll have a lot of damage. Might be able to bring him down here, but okay, he's got some stick charges. Now the positive urn. They can't even kill the Night Stalker.
Oh no, that was your Batrider blink reveal as well. He'll go back to the jungle, have a medium camp, or big camp there, double stack, but you know, this game is just going from bad to worse here. Slark, you know things are going well when Illidan's like, okay, I can go back for my Midas despite having a tough lane. He's feeling confident that he can go for this Midas still, and Affinage may just get caught up by this one. The missile's going to hit, doesn't hit the pounce, but doesn't matter. That's Affinage's Tinker getting brought down before his boots of travel, and
yep, Phobos with a double damage. No way to stop that. And even Illidan just moving around. No Blink Dagger, no Shadow Blade yet. We'll see a kill onto the Dazzle here.
We trade lives, the Night Stalker and the Dazzle.
Okay.
Night Stalker does get the kill after he died from the urn charges.
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate.
Elsewhere, though, it's ASUS.Polar to bring down the Tier 1 mid tower. The DD rune on Phobos, and Illidan helping out for this one. No real possible defense as Tinker's still dead. Actually pounces to the low ground. Looks like he'll just leave Phobos on the high ground to secure it.
Yep.
On it?
No, okay. Sharing his carries.
All about Illidan.
Funky little play there. So about a 4,500 net worth lead, 4,000 XP going in the favor of ASUS.Polar. 13 minutes in, they're feeling pretty good. They've got their farm tools, and they're just going to buckle in and enjoy this momentum they've got set up for themselves. Illidan topping the net worth charts, and now we'll see a rotation onto Artez up top. Magic Missile will not connect. Compliments of the Magic community and the Blade Fury. But
okay, they'll be forced back, but that's TP rotations forced out. The Tinker was kind of already there, but it's 4 heroes top, and they're going to go back in looking for more. Tinker's trying to farm this not Ancient Sack, this big neutral camp, and he's going to get caught out, focused down with ease, and Phobos has a Primal Split ready for any ensuing fights as well.
Yeah, no Illidan. He'll be the one to TP down bottom. Rendezvous with the Lina. Looks like they'll have a kill set up here. Lasso coming out from GoDz at the worst time imaginable. They thought the Lina was a freebie. And wow, are they going to get a 1-for-0 out of this? Illidan's not even going to be able to turn it around. The Batrider, okay. He's making the plays happen.
All right, Illidan just going to hide under the trees here. Not really feeling too safe here, but top lane elsewhere. It's the Jug going out of the Brewmaster. Brewmaster's gone in.
Yep, didn't even use a split for that. Yeah, it was just Mag at nighttime making it happen under the tower. So a little bit of space creation down bottom. I guess Illidan still not really in fighting form, even though he's acting like it down bottom. He will go for the Shadow Blade, the Illidan Classic that I've dubbed this build here. And he has the Shadow Amulet halfway to the Claymore. We'll have it in due time.
Yeah, he's just going to need a couple more creep waves and he'll be there. Bottom lane comes Artez, who is still struggling to hit level 6, still the lowest level in the game. Has just his phase boots to play around with, and this is a woeful position to be in for your Juggernaut. Support's doing all they can to try to keep him alive in these fights here. Illidan's still looking to zone him out. Actually gets himself stuck in some trees, which is unfortunate. Buys a Quelling Blade, uses it, and will hold on to it, because once you've used it, you can't sell it back for full value. So
you could have just waited another 2 seconds. I don't know if there's 2 seconds the Quelling Blade investment, but
saves 75 mana, you know?
Well, now he finds Artez. Hits him with a pounce. Just gives him a few pokes and walk away.
No Omni-Slash just yet, and all right, there we go. Hits level 6. Now
he doesn't have enough mana. Okay, he's still having more issues here. He actually isn't going for this kind of new standard build, I guess. He had to put a second point in the Blade Fury. It's a little bit extra damage, a little more mana efficient.
Yep, Lina from the flank here will scatter. The Genko comes in and Illidan blows up the Juggernaut with the Laguna Blade. It's still actually going to become the new target, but DK Phobos comes in with a clap split from the side. Go down the first target, but he gets graved up. Instead, they're going to go on Dread while they Cyclone up the Dazzle. Dread should be a kill here, looking at probably 2 kills. Dread going to pop his magic wand. GoDz actually healed back up a decent amount, but Mag, the Night Stalker, shows up. Defensive disruption. So annoying to get kills against this team, but at the same time, actually they're going to lose Illidan, so it doesn't actually work out to be that good of a fight for ASUS.Polar when they lose their Slark there.
No, not that great of a fight, though. One of those kills the Shadow Demon picked up after he was already dead, so he didn't get XP for it. Could have been a lot better for ASUS.Polar. Getting a little bit sloppy, but they're kind of at that stage where they're far enough ahead that they can afford to be a little sloppy. It's a 2 for 3. They get the Tier 1 tower down bottom, and end of the day, it's still a net worth gain for the Radiant side.
Look, I've seen Alpha Ninja's Tinker turnaround games before, so I would definitely not get too overconfident if you're ASUS.Polar, but he's got his boots of travel now. So HellRaisers have that first staple item for your Tinker, and he is level 11, so he does offer some global protection and help with the maxed out heat-seeking missiles if he wants to be TPing around the map, but ASUS.Polar have a good idea of where he is. They see the marching machines, they're going to run through it and try and catch out this Tinker, but it looks like they're going to be a little bit too late. Oh no, he's going to walk back into him.
Oh, Tinker, he gets dropped pretty quick. Now the Bat Rider, he takes another Laguna. Do they actually have the damage? Shallow Grave comes out. He won't go below the threshold anyhow. Illidan nearby, Shadow Blade on. He wants this kill. Can he find it? Oh, too brave, Illidan. He pops the ultimate now. That stops the Omni Slash dead in its tracks. Lina throwing out that Dragon Slave, doing some big damage. Juggernaut gets brought down. So does the Dazzle. About simultaneously, out comes the lasso onto Phobos, and that's not really going to do a hell of a lot. Swap on FNG. It's basically a team wipe. Bat Rider barely survives with the Blink Dagger. Everyone else cleaned up. They don't find a single kill out of it.
I'm not sure Phobos. I think the lasso was like a defensive, like, uh-oh, this Brewmaster is going to do all kinds of damage. Didn't have a split, but there was just not many good lasso targets. If we could catch Illidan there before he ulti would have been nice, but Illidan just playing hyper-aggressive and not getting punished. Shadow Dance just to deal with the Omni Slash and gets himself out of all kinds of sticky situations with this ultimate.
Yeah, and now ASUS.Polar have a pretty damn big lead. About 12,000 gold, 10,000 experience, and this is where Illidan starts to have a field day. Picks up his Shadow Blade and just starts moving around looking for solo kills. Alpha Ninja.
Not going to get there in time, yeah. The Void almost catches up to him, but we'll see ASUS.Polar what their next move's going to be. Right now, it seems like they're just going to go from kill to kill. They're just showing super intent to just get aggressive right now. They want to take fights constantly. They're stacking their own jungle with the Lina, who can kind of afford to take some time off to farm, but the Slark, as Illidan always does, the Brewmaster, the Night Stalker, these 3 big heroes with FNG's Venge are going to be looking to control the tempo of the game. FNG, by the way, practically has most of a pipe all of a sudden.
Oh, my.
Not often we get to see this item, but great against the Tinker, especially with ASUS.Polar, who are looking to dive towers, dive for kills, walking into March of the Machines frequently. That's where pipe is going to be very handy.
Yes, absolutely. Great for pushing high ground as well. We'll see. Artez, he is still in Strug City here. This Jug, all right, he's got an Aquila now to go with his phase boots. He's picked up a Bracer, but just no progress towards any kind of core items. He's still only level 7. And this is where Jug just becomes a liability. There's just not much he can do here. Really wants to hit level 11 just to buff up that Omni Slash, but so far away from the mark, he is actually below the supports of ASUS.Polar right now. Lina is out farming him, or was just a second ago.
Here comes GoDz. Has a lasso available, but they're going to burst down DK Phobos, and even if they get that lasso, I don't think they can kill him fast enough, so could have probably got the Primal Split, although he was very alone.
Lil's working on a big stack here in the jungle, looking towards that Aghanim Scepter. And speaking of Scepters, hey, that's a Night Stalker. That's a buffed up Darkness. And oh boy, is this a fun one, GoDz.
Yeah, this Tinker is going to have a rough time now. Even when he gets that Blink Dagger, you're not going to be able to use your trees to cover your kind of split push and your aggressive plays around the map. So his life's going to be difficult whenever it is nighttime. Go pop the darkness and just extend the nighttime for a little bit with I think it was like 30 seconds away from night beginning.
Yeah, it's always so sad to see enemy wards when darkness is active with the Aghanims. It really is just sad. I look at that ward and I just picture them crying a little bit inside. This is my only job. Like look at this one right here, near the bottom rune. It's just the circle is just so little. It gives you almost nothing. Oh,
yeah, even this mid one, it's like not even seeing the towers. Like this ward's meant to see the towers so you can see people TPing in. You go for a push in the mid lane, you don't even see anything.
This ward gives you actually nothing.
Oh my god. That ward is not... I mean, no ward's of value when there's darkness in play.
Yeah, that's one of those little things that everyone at this point pretty much knows that vision is really valuable. We'll hold that thought as Artez gets swapped down bottom, and it's still nighttime even though darkness expires. TP in. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, yeah, Illidan going on to got him, gets him low, even pops the Shadow Dance for this and just brings down the Dazzle, walks away out of the base, leaps back to safety, and oh boy, Night Stalker comes in, just brings down the Tinker. Now the Primal Split flies through. There will be an Omnisage, but it just tickles Illidan at this point. He'll hop back. Artez trying to retreat back to the base. Dread will be the one to take the boulder, and now the Pandas making it happen. They'll Cyclone up the Bat Rider, and Defensive Disruption buys him a little bit of time, but now Illidan's reinitiated. He's joined his buddy Phobos, and they found yet another kill. It's a quick 3-for-0 as ASUS.Polar do it once more.
Illidan just so good at getting in and out on this slack here. He's going to probably have to go back to base now. A bit at low HP, and, well, HP not an issue, but the mana the bigger issue. Bottom lane, FNG... sees Artez, gets the magic missile off, silencer following. Artez, no way out from this one. Oh boy. 24 kills to 4. This game getting one-sided very, very quickly. Your Lina Ag Scepter almost complete, but that's least of HellRaisers and Warriors right now. It's this Illidan Slack that's just everywhere on the map.
And he bumps right into the Bat Rider. Oh, Bat, that's not where you wanted to be. Walks right into Illidan, sort of predicts his movements, and another freebie for ASUS.Polar. This has been a weird series. Games 1 and 3, unbelievably lopsided. Then you have this game 2 where it's like, oh, wow, these teams actually look kind of even. And then when ASUS.Polar get what they want, it's just madness around the map. 25-4, GoDz.
Oh, boy. This is... and showing no signs of changing. Your Jug... it's not like Game 2 where, okay, ASUS.Polar... like, we're kind of talking about Game 2, like, ASUS.Polar had the good start, but there was always farms somewhere being taken by HellRaisers. Like, Jug was always close to the Naga Siren or on par with the Naga Siren. This time around, all their core heroes are struggling. Your Jug more than anyone, with 4.4k net worth. He has lower net worth than your support Venge. It's the Tinker and Bat who are doing okay-ish, but they're not even close to the core heroes of ASUS.Polar.
Yeah, Night Stalker able to get very aggressive here. Illidan poking forward, gets caught by the lasso, pulled into enemy territory, but they don't still have any damage. Defensive Disruption buys Dread some time. Now ASUS.Polar on the back foot, but they are ready to initiate here. Or reinitiate, I should say. Phobos gets the split off, but he's in the trees. The Pandas will walk right over it. Now the pipe been used, and ASUS.Polar feeling very good against the Tinker, just walking right through the march. All 5 still alive for HR, but Tinker going to change that trend. Down he goes. Dread now left behind, gets hit by another boulder. He's going to die as well. A double for the Brewmaster as Bat Rider stuck inside of the trees. No blink, no Force Staff, no Firefly. He'll be forced to take the flail in the trees, and that will secure his death. Now a triple for Phobos. ASUS.Polar again taking a fight, and this one will demoralize HR into a GG.
All right. That does it. 2-1 victory for ASUS.Polar. The Polar Bears are going through to the winner bracket final to take on Team Empire. That rivalry can continue.
Yeah, you're right. Empire, ASUS.Polar, these are the teams. It seems like they're always making it to either the winter finals, the grand finals, constantly duking it out and constantly taking games off of each other, which is the interesting part. They're one of the more even matchups, I think, in the scene right now.
Very even matchup. I think Empire have won a bit more when it counts, like Starlighter finals, I mean, the ES Portal final, but as far as the actual games they trade, it feels like it is very close to 50-50. So looking forward to that series. It's not the one that's going to matter for everything. It's just the winner bracket final. Winner will be in the top 2, but end of the day, second place gets you nothing in this qualifier. It's all about getting first place, attending the LAN finals, competing for over $100,000. So
yeah,
those matches coming up over the next few days. It's been a nice, fun day of Major All-Stars casting today.
Yeah, so now for the lower bracket, that puts us with Ninjas in Pajamas will be playing Meepon for elimination coming up on the horizon, and then that leaves us with the HellRaisers fighting against the Power Rangers for elimination also. That'll be the next set in losers bracket round 2. I think coming up tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly what the schedule is.
I think tomorrow is those 2 loser bracket matches. Then the day after is the winner bracket final and
the
loser bracket round 3. And then last day is the loser bracket final plus grand final.
Okay.
The double whammy there. So there's 3 more days left.
Talk about your winner bracket advantage. The loser has to play a back-to-back set of series, BO3 into BO5. I like it. I'd rather have that than a 1-game advantage in a BO. Is the grand finals BO5?
I don't know.
Well, according to Liquipedia, it is. I don't know if that's reliable.
I'm not sure on that one, to be honest.
I'm not sure. Okay.
I'll have to check.
But I do like that, though. I'd rather have the fatigue advantage rather than a 1-game advantage.
Yeah. You can sit back, you can watch that BO3, see what kind of strategies heroes they're picking, and kind of plan and strategize for that. The
Yeah.
teams in the lower bracket final, they're preparing for each other. They're not preparing for whoever's waiting for them in the grand final.
Yeah,
So
you have to get like through this checkpoint first, so that's what your focus is on.
Yeah.
It's a little more difficult. for
They may
sure.
get some momentum. That's always the other argument. Like you have that momentum, that build up where you've just won, you're feeling on a high. But I mean, the team in the grand finals also has that tournament momentum where they haven't lost a series. So it goes both ways. It's
That's
like the
true.
day momentum versus the overall tournament momentum.
That's true. That's very true.
So that
all
does
right.
it. We've got the return of In the Studio, 2015 return.
Woo!
We're going to be talking about the Dota 2 scene and all that's been going on over the last, well, I guess 4 months, because it's been like 4 months since we've done a show.
Yeah, and that's coming up in soon. Like
Yeah, probably-
10-ish, 15-ish, 30-ish minutes.
We're aiming for a 3 p.m. Pacific time start, but we may
Okay.
bring that forward a bit since
Oh,
this
yeah,
series
that ended
ended
quick. Okay.
with some fast games. We had 2 like 20-ish minute games, so
Yeah.
probably about 15, 20 minutes. We'll keep the stream running and get things set up down in the studio for In the Studio by 100 TB. So looking forward to that.
All right. Yeah, it should be fun. I got the whole panel back.
Yep. Well, guys, thanks everyone for watching. See you guys tomorrow for more major All-Stars action in the European qualifiers. If you want to follow, support us, you can follow Andrew at Zyori TV. You can follow myself at BTS Gods. And be sure to click the follow button on the stream to follow the Beyond the Summit stream, knowing we go live. And also you can follow Beyond the Summit on Twitter as well. So we'll see you guys soon. In the Studio starts in 15 minutes. Don't go anywhere.